Begin tonight with the KXAN investigation into claims of politics getting in the way of justice.
A Central Texas woman claims she was sexually assaulted and believes her case was thrown out of court because the man who allegedly assaulted her is a well-known public figure running for public office.
She spoke exclusively to KXAN's lead investigator, Chris Willis, and Chris joins us now live with her story.
Robert, Leslie, good evening to you. Michelle Riddle came to us with details of what she described as a disturbing encounter she had with her cousin, Kent Riddle, who was running for Caldwell County Commissioner in the Precinct 1 race. The race is getting a lot of attention in the city of Lockhart, but as we started investigating, the self-described voice for the people went silent. Dirty politics is reaching a new level in Caldwell County. This is a full-page ad taken out in last week's Lockhart Post-Register. In a roundabout way, supporters of County Commissioner candidate Kent Riddle are trying to prop up his character by pointing out his public falls from grace. They highlight his emergence from a recent bankruptcy and how a relative is now bankrolling his campaign. And the ad concludes by letting the gutless weasels know you don't have to get arrested to be guilty of doing something wrong. So the question is, what are they defending him against?
I felt disgusted. I just had a cousin attack me in a very inappropriate way.
This is Caldwell County Commissioner candidate Kent Riddle's cousin, Michelle Riddle.
He came up behind me and pulled on my pants.
Michelle says on Valentine's Day of this year, she met her cousin Kent, who's also a real estate agent, to look at one of his rental homes. When she came in, she says he kissed her and put his tongue in her mouth and says she immediately pulled away.
He hugged me again, kissed me again, and told me that if I did him a favor, he'd do me a favor of getting him in the house. And that's when he pulled on my pants, and that's when I said, I need to go.
Through an open records request, we discovered Michelle did go straight to the police station to file a report. And that's when police say things got technical. A charge of sexual assault in Texas does not include kissing. So police filed charges of simple assault against Kent Riddle. That's a Class C misdemeanor. Lockhart's police chief says Michelle's case was handled like every other case. And the fact that Kent Riddle is running for public office had no influence on their investigation. In fact, Chief Michael Loomis says Kent Riddle refused to cooperate with police and would not talk to them during their investigation. The chief says Riddle's lack of cooperation did not surprise him.
No, not really. Was not surprised at all. After we looked at it, considered the different statutes, the elements were not there for an attempted sexual assault.
In this case, the charge that they put, although it doesn't seem fair, was, I guess, according to the law.
Rick Giprich is the communications director for the Texas Association Against Sexual Assault. He says his organization helps monitor legislation to try and help law enforcement and potential victims in Texas.
If it's sexually motivated or there's a sexual nature involved in any way, then it should be classified as a sex crime, but unfortunately our laws don't allow that to happen.
The best element we had was assault by contact, which means there's an offensive touching or assault or whatever, which is a Class C. That was pursued, the affidavit was filled out and sent to municipal court.
And once it got to municipal court, it was promptly dismissed by City Attorney Peter Grunig, and then it was signed by Judge Jim Gillis.
When we take away the right for them to get the justice that they deserve, it invalidates everything that they went through.
I thought it was disgusting and that I have flashbacks of him, and I can't even kiss my own husband right now.
KXAN requested the police report from City Attorney Peter Grunig, and when we got it, several paragraphs were blacked out. Grunig says details were redacted because the case did not end in a conviction. And he says although he never really spoke to Kent Riddle, he dismissed the case because the burden of proof was, in his opinion, just too high.
I think Lockhart protects a lot of people that are well known in town.
Meantime, County Commissioner candidate Kent Riddle, who calls himself the voice for the people, has gone silent with us. We called more than a dozen times, left several messages, and even went to his home in Lockhart. All of those efforts were ignored. And after weeks of trying, we finally did get an email from candidate Kent Riddle late this week. In it, he states, "I have no comment on the baseless allegation that is the subject of your requested interview. regarding a case that was immediately dismissed and questioned the timing of the renewal of the allegation in such close proximity to our very important local election. As mentioned, Kent Riddle is in a heated Republican primary election runoff for that Caldwell County Commissioner post. That runoff election is this coming Tuesday. Meantime, the Texas Association Against Sexual Assault is now helping Michelle Riddle because her criminal case was dismissed. She is now exploring her legal options in civil court. We're in the studio tonight and we're live. Chris Willis, KXAN News.
Thank you, Chris. And if you have a story tip for KXAN News to investigate, call our investigative tip line at 512-703-5255, or you can send us an email to investigates@kxan.com.